Hello, I'm Eddie Canlon, owner of Canlon's Restaurant. Canlon's Restaurant was established in 1985 in Oakwood. Um, so, 38 years later, I finally figured it out. Haha. No, but I've been doing it since I'm 16 years old, over 40 years. And I was fortunate enough to be a gopher when I was like a young man, 16, for a lot of different chefs. So, gopher is go get a carrot, go get an onion. And I was side by side with probably 20 different chefs over the years when I was younger. And my father, we started actually at the Esquire Club in West Brighton, which is going back too far. But that's how I really got my knowledge. And being side by side next to a head chef, and I was a smart young man. I kind of listened to my elders, and they schooled me quite a bit, and I learned 20, 25 different styles of cuisine. So now, 40 years later down the road, I my menu's all over the place. I just consider myself continental cuisine, but there's a little bit of all those influences in the menu itself. Um, about 12 years ago, I grew up in an Irish family. Nothing was ever good enough. They were very hard on me, which was good because I came out of it. If it doesn't kill you, right? But what validated all the years of me banging around the kitchen, I mean, I'm a bartender, a busboy, a porter, which I still am to this day. I'm Staten Island's oldest busboy. But I'm kind of hands on. I have a young staff, which I like. They're in college and whatnot. But back to my validation, I do a lot of donations. That's kind of what I like to do. What a better way for somebody to find out about my food than going to a food show or um, such as like say Egger Nursing Home used to have a taste of Staten Island. So I'm never really at a loss for words. And I did my carnival act up at Egger one year, and I met some guy who was a casting director for a show called Chopped. And he says, "Here's my card. You're a crazy man, and why don't you come up for a casting call for this show?" I never watched the show ever. So I went up, and a year later they called me, and within a week I filmed an episode of Chopped, and luckily I landed on my feet and I won. So I'm a chop champion. And that kind of validated all the years of working in the kitchen, too much salt, not enough this, not enough that, yada, yada, yada. And that kind of really opened me up into like even to like the next level of taking not risks, but just developing different specials and stuff on my menu. So I'm 61 years old, and I definitely do not know everything, and I'm still learning. In other words, so um, that's basically my background with with constantly growing and people's taste change, and you have to kind of go with everybody. You can't be one of those old school restaurant guys that like this is my menu and that's it because you never last. So you kind of got to have your ears open and listen to critiques and different comments and what people like. Well, now I'm kind of in next chapter of my career. Well, winding down. I'm near the end, but I it took a few years, but I'm gonna say I have two guys with me now that have been with me 20 years. Okay, they started the same way I did. They were 16 and 17, um, and I taught them all my tricks, and slowly gradually kind of stepped away from being dated. I'm still day to day in the kitchen, but I'm not working the line any longer. So it kind of helps me do other things in the restaurant and stay on top of menus and shopping, etc. But these guys have been with me 20 some odd years. So the first 10 they were with me, they were great. And then they're still great. But the last 10 years, I kind of backed off a little bit, which is like, you know, finger biting and stuff like that. But now that I have a lot of some free time to myself, that's why I want to, be more I'm part of the Staten Island community now, but I figured now it's time to join the chamber and help out with your great cause too, you know? Yeah, well, my website is canlons.com, CANLONS.com. The S is for savings because I'm actually in a unique position because being around 37 years, I own the building. So a lot of that major overhead, I still have quite a bit of overhead, which we all do, but I'm not paying rent, etc. A few other things like that. Um, so I can still give a great deal out there. I've climbed and hurdled a lot of plateaus and stages through this game. So I'm in a nice position now. I'm pretty much financially set. Really, who is, but I'm pretty much financially set. So I'm not as hungry as some of these younger restaurateurs are. And nothing gives me greater pleasure than to give somebody a really good portion, a really good meal at a really good value. And that's my goal, just to keep people happy. I'm in the hospitality industry. I mean, right? That's what I'm supposed to be doing. My address is 1825 North Railroad Avenue. As I say, I'm conveniently located right next to the Oakwood train station. And I also have additional parking right next door on North Railroad and Cedar View. It's Monsignor Farrell's parking lot, which we're best of neighbors. And I help Farrell quite a bit, and they help me quite a bit. So that saves my lunch trade.